Once upon a time, in Storybook Ending, the town hall debate continued with Margie and John Noble arguing about magic, mayors, and more. Viola planted seeds of discontent with the townspeople over John Noble having magic and using it to portray himself as a king. Tabs told Tom that the speakers wouldn't let John Noble harm him with this newfound magic. And eventually the town hall ended, and while Margie and Viola continued glad-handing, Tabs followed a frustrated Noble out of the hall to an unusually dark alley. Noble talked to the shadows, and the antagonist talked back. Hello and welcome to Storybook Ending. My name is Loxley, I'm your keeper of stories, and I use they/their or they/them pronouns. With me today is Addie.
Hi, I'm Addie. I play the character Margie, and we both use she/her pronouns.
I also have Danny with us.
Hi, my name is Danny. I use she/her pronouns, and I'm playing Viola Thomas, who also uses she/her pronouns.
And lastly, we have Killian.
Hi, I'm Killian. I use they/them pronouns, and I play Tabitha, who uses he/they pronouns.
We see a flower, and hear cursing. An Italian leather boot suddenly stomps in front of us, crushing the flower mercilessly. We pan up slowly to see a fine suit, ill-befitting the woods around us, as John Noble trudges through the forest. He curses again as a branch smacks him in the face. And we slowly move around him to see what he's looking at. We see a pile of rubble in the midst of the woods, and then a stream of ink flowing out of a pen in his hand. We finish the circle around him to see him smile, and we fade out. Tabs, I believe you have called Margie and Viola to the Lazy Dog to talk about something.
Yeah! We're just moving right along. Okay.
Yep, we sure are.
You're evil.
Yeah, I sure am.
So, Tabs called you here, and is probably pacing a little bit. With John Noble gaining magic, I followed him after the meeting at the town hall.
Okay.
Oh, bye.
I overheard him speaking to the antagonist
Okay.
from the Fables.
The antagonist of the book?
Was he friendly?
Yes, from the Fables themselves. It did not seem amicable, if I'm being honest. He seemed to be at odds with this antagonist.
Well, good. Even better.
But the antagonist did gift him this magic.
Oh, crap. Well,
He seems to be running out of options, though. It seems to be a desperate ploy to get this magic in the first place.
Oh, that sounds like him, alright. Making no good deals just to what? One up me? And you? And you?
well, it does sound like the sort of thing he would do.
The only good thing about John Noble is how predictable he is.
Oh, that's true.
You're right there.
It's like the villain in a romance.
Come again?
I,
Not quite as attractive.
what romance do you...
Well, there's always the bad guy,
Well,
The-
yes, but he ain't tall, dark, and handsome. He's just dark in the soul.
Well, yes, I didn't say he was the hero. He's the, the one that is trying to keep them apart. Or never mind.
You've lost me with this.
Right.
But
Sorry. Yeah, we should do something about him.
yes, the only upside to this is that the magic does not seem to be given so freely. So with him not having as good of a grasp over it, we have the upper hand still. He seems to be testing the limits for this entity. It does not seem to want to go.
Yes. How about we find out the terms of this deal and make damn sure that Noble cannot reach it. What's the word? Comply.
Hold up his end of the deal.
Yes,
Yes.
exactly.
Well, I don't feel like I'll be much help in your campaign. I can't say I know much about running for mayor, but I could do something about that.
Yeah.
That would be lovely. Tabs, you're hired. You're hired as my what? Noble liaison.
I like that. Excellent title.
Agreed.
I will pay you in tavern/bar/inn food.
Thank you kindly, Margie.
Tabs, what does this newfound position as the noble liaison, what does this look like? What are you doing?
Oh, I really want to go for that journal. I want to find it so bad.
Ooh.
And see what I can deduce on my own terms.
Mm-hmm.
But that would require so much sneaking. It makes me mechanically nervous to do this, but I also just feel like I could get answers about this and know how he managed to contact them and everything if I were able to find that journal and at least get a snippet.
Mm-hmm.
That does sound like a good plan.
Yeah, but it also seems so
Dangerous?
dangerous, yeah. Because we don't know if he's keeping it in the castle still, and if I get through all those barricades, what if he's moved it to his house? Oh.
It sure is a conundrum.
Fuck it, let's break into the castle.
Okay. Alrighty.
This sounds fun.
Not where I thought this was going, but I love it. Okay. Okay. What's your first step here? I gotta know the game plan. You've been inside before, but it's mundanely pretty well secured.
Yeah.
Just to sort of set the scene again, because it's been a while. The castle is a very unusual for Fox Jumps, kind of sleek mostly glass exterior office building, basically. It's not nearly as big as it sounds, but compared to most of the buildings in this town, it is pretty large and imposing. There are lots of security cameras all around. The doors are guarded. There's a secretary. The doors inside are locked. You know this. What's the plan here? Are you going to walk in and ask nicely, maybe?
No.
Because please is the magic word. Besides all the other literally magic words.
I don't think please is the magic word. Well, I feel like in the past, whenever we've tried to go to the... I think he was with them one of the times that they went to the castle, really. But I feel like it was a struggle to even get through the doors.
Mm-hmm.
And speak with Noble. It's been a while since that happened, though, so forgive me if I'm wrong. I feel like he'd want to skip the middleman and just figure out a way up.
Mm. We smash cut to Tabs scaling the side of the building with the spell Spider-Man. And then he cuts a circle in the glass like in those spy movies. You know the ones.
I was kind of just thinking that I might just try to do this, at least this first step, with just rolling, daring or whatever, to see if I could even manage it just on his own. Without a use of a spell. Before we pivot.
Okay. What exactly are you trying to do here? You said you wanted to skip the middleman. Are you trying to?
Probably just try and sneak past. Like if the receptionist Gwen
Mhm.
steps away, just immediately taking that advantage and just going for like the probably stairwell.
Okay. Okay. Um. Huh.
Do you want some assistance with this?
I would love some.
Because I mean, we can find uh, you know reasonable ways to have her step away.
True.
Poison.
Get called.
What? I was thinking like a singing telegram or something.
Oh.
Something to distract her.
That sounds fun.
Oh my god.
I mean,
Okay.
Viola's not like super rich, but she can afford a singing telegram.
In this economy, yowza.
She'll hire someone.
Okay. I, sorry, I'm reading the rule book. I don't know where in the rules it says how to deal with a singing telegram spy. Let me double check. Yeah, no, there's nothing
Yo,
for
you're
it.
like throwing me for a loop for this one. I'm sorry.
You're so good. I love it. I'm just
Espionage. The episode.
yeah. Let me see. I feel like this will be a roll to distract and then a roll to sneak past.
Okay.
Viola, what if you're sort of planning this distraction, what do you think you would want to roll with here?
I mean, ideally, she'd roll with reason, thinking through like what is the most logical way to distract someone while still having them technically doing their job, so they can't get in trouble if they get found. Because she was nice to us. I don't want her to be in trouble, but
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay.
like I said, a singing telegram who would stand outside the building because everyone knows that John Noble has a bit of a temper and probably doesn't want that inside. So she'll order a singing telegram for Gwen to be performed at the front of the building so that Gwen has to like get up and go see what's going on.
Okay. Are you I was gonna keep this in my back pocket, but I think it's kind of the most notable thing the second you walk in. Like I said, the doors are also guarded by security guards.
Oh fuck. Yeah.
Are you planning on getting a singing telegram for all three of them? Two guards and then the receptionist. I think it was Greg and Gerg were the two guards.
Yeah.
Yes.
Greg Gergen Gwen.
Or if
Well-
you wanted, you could maybe time it for when they're on break or something. I'm not.
I was thinking that whatever it is would be distracting to whoever happens to see it. So,
Okay.
if it's right by the doors, even though it's for Gwen, Greg and Gerg would be right there going, what?
Okay. Yeah. No, that's fair. I'll have you. I think if you're trying to distract all three of them, it will be a hard difficulty rather
Okay.
than just an average for one of them. But I'll have you go ahead and roll that, and I think reason makes sense here. Cool.
Oh, yes.
Nice.
65531.
Nice.
Very nice.
Good shit.
She hired a really great singing telegram guy.
Okay, I gotta ask. This is not important, but it is potentially funny. What is the theme of the singing telegram?
I think for maximum distraction, she
Uh-huh,
went with someone who dresses very circus like with like clown sort of look,
Uh-huh.
but is singing something very not clownish. Oh no, singing something very clown. He's gonna be singing Taylor Swift songs
Let's go.
and literally
That's so
clowning
funny.
in front of the building.
Do you have a song in mind?
Oh, let's see. It is John Noble that we're singing in front of his building. So it's got to be something from Reputation.
Uh-huh.
I feel like we're going to go classic and Are you ready for it?
Okay. A song I do not know, so I will not even attempt. I mean, I guess I'd... no, you know what? I'm going to save all of us the embarrassment. Yeah, no, this clown guy comes outside and starts singing Taylor Swift, and the guards inside look really quizzical, and then they sort of lean out the door and they're like, "Hey, are you sure about the copyright on that? I'm not sure." And then Gwen comes out and it's like, "Oh, we can't, guys, we can't just... Okay, what is happening here?" And they all sort of step outside to deal with this clown. And I think you've probably, with a 6 on your reason, probably instructed the clown to like sort of lead them to the side a little bit, to
Yes.
sort of edge back slowly.
Keep them distracted.
Tabitha,
Yes.
what you doing?
Sneaking in. Sorry, I'm laughing too fucking hard. Yeah, just sneaking in and trying to make my way toward the stairs to get up to
Okay.
that office.
All right. Yeah, this will be sort of an overarching role. I will have you roll. It will be an easy difficulty since Viola did the hard part of getting the guards away. But you are still walking, like, kind of pretty close to them still.
Yeah. Would it make sense for me to roll daring in this case? Since I'm being a little stupid, a little reckless.
I think that makes sense, yes. So, how many daring do you have?
4.
Nice.
Damn.
Ooh, barely.
I got a 4.
Yeah, 2, 2, 4, 1.
The difference in the rolls, goddamn.
Yeah, I think there's a close call. The security guards, Greg and Gerg, start to hear your, like, scuffling past them, and they start to turn around. And then the clown says, "Well, I'll see how this is gonna go." And then they get really distracted by the clown again, and you manage to just slip in unnoticed. Just barely. But you don't have super long, so you should act quickly.
Mm-hmm.
You said you're going straight for the stairs?
Yeah, straight for the stairs. And making his way up.
Okay. It makes sense that Tabs wouldn't know this, but canonically, the door to the stairs is locked from this end.
Mm-hmm.
What are you doing to sort of get through here?
Could I perhaps cast a spell to make it unlock?
Yeah.
Cool.
Do you have an existing spell, or do you want to cast a new spell?
The only thing that I could think is like... No. Let's just cast a new spell.
Okay. Yeah, let's...
Game feels fitting.
This game feels, for sure, like it makes sense, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Are you looking for suggestions, or do you want to look yourself?
Yeah, go wild.
Got a lot of options here, I just don't know how many of them are relevant.
Yeah. It would be a treat to get this door open, a reward even, for all my hard work.
Oh god. I feel like you could justify pretty much any action with that.
We have enough words for defeat.
I just sit down and cry.
Incredible.
Let me. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Just let me. Permission.
Just let me. Come on. As a treat, let me.
There's a tweet.
Fade, you could, one of the ones that's already listed, you could, like, fade through it.
That's what I was thinking, and that
Yeah.
sounds really freaking cool.
That does.
I kind of want to go with that.
Alright, yeah.
And I might make it permanent just because the visual of it just sounds really sick.
Moira moment.
Exactly! I was just thinking of Moira / Reaper.
Gamer. Okay.
Guilty.
So what does the spell look like as you have to think quick here?
Literally all I can think about is Moira's fate. like summoning the gold coin to his hand and just using it to pretty much turn into this magic / fade into it to go through like the cracks of the door, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And just scuttle up them.
Scuttling. You love to scuttle.
We do.
I think you cast the spell and you turn into this glittering golden magic, right?
Yeah.
Like that's the form you take in this moment. And it feels really weird, but really good. In a way that is almost unnerving when you come out of it. Like it's almost hard to come out of it.
You're scaring me.
Good. Yeah, no, that's all I'll give you is just that as you sort of turn into this magic, even for a brief instant, you feel funky.
Oh.
But yeah, you pull yourself out of it and you manage to scuttle up the stairs. Greetings, traveler! Thank you for listening to Storybook Ending. If you've enjoyed this tale thus far, perhaps you should leave a rating and a review. It is not required by any means, but I cannot promise I won't hire clown telegrams to distract you from your work if you don't. You should also spread word of this story amongst your friends and family, as the strange magic known as word of mouth is an excellent way to share media you enjoy. If you want to find others who already know of this tale, join us on The Actual Place. It's a great... hold on, I'm checking my scroll. It's a great Discord server, whatever that means, with a community of actual play creators and fans. You can chat with the cast of Storybook Ending along with other listeners there. The next part of our story shall be released upon the 23rd of April. For the time being, please enjoy the rest of this episode. I think we will cut over to Margie. Margie, did you have any specific plans? Because if not, I have a scene we can do.
I don't. Not gonna lie, like, the only core tenet of Margie's mayoral platform is to be anti-John Noble. And, but, like, I feel like for the last, like, 3 scenes with Margie, she's just been doing political shit, and I kind of want to break.
Fair enough.
What plans do you have for me?
Well, it was political stuff, so let me think of something new.
I'm sorry. We could do, like, job interviews.
Oh, I like that.
Because Shannon's gonna need a lot more help. Though I think,
He needs a friend.
yeah. I'm sorry, I'm just, like, I love, like, the mundane shit. I know, like, this podcast is supposed to be, like, magic and storytelling, but...
No, you're so good. Okay, yeah, I think we see you doing a round of interviews. Do you think Shannon is there also, since she's gonna be...
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry for the poor, job candidates, but it's like a joint interview between me and Shannon. Me because I'm the owner.
Makes sense.
Shannon because she's the boss.
Yeah, that makes sense. Let me see if we have any characters that aren't already employed. Or British.
Or underage.
Or underage. Yeah, I do think Benny walks in and he's kind of scuffing his shoe and he's like, Dad said I need a job. He is 16, by the way. Not fit to work in a bar. But he seems not to realize that or not to care.
Okay, Margie looks at him and she's like, "This is a bar and your pa is a cop." And nothing else.
Yeah, and I don't see the problem. I'm like, I can work hard or whatever.
You don't. What are they teaching children in schools these days if you don't see the problem? Did JoJo, like, dropped you? Is that why you were estranged?
Oh my god, Margie, holy shit!
I know, holy shit.
so mean.
Wow.
I'm like, oh my god, Margie, he's only 16. Get a grip.
I love that you say that about your own character.
It just came out. You know I don't be thinking when I play Margie. Her spirit possessed me, and I'm like out for 2 hours.
Okay, yeah. Benny looks up at you, and rather than appearing like hurt or insulted, he just kind of scoffs and says, "Ugh, I bet you were dropped, but that was like 100 years ago, because you're old." Got him.
Absolutely not. Absolutely. This is my establishment. Maybe called Lazy Dog, but it's a play on words on my own flippin' dog. Okay, this. Get out of. This the side of you in this establishment is bringing down the stock. Get out.
Two.
As if he can get any lower, and he trudges out.
And then I think she calls JoJo.
Oh no, you're gonna tattle?
Yeah, she's a gossip, okay?
Yeah.
Like, she's not a snitch, she's a gossip.
Oh my god. Yeah, okay. You call up JoJo, and he answers. He's like, hey, Margie, what's going on? Distantly in the background, you can hear a very strange voice singing Taylor Swift. He seems very distracted, but he does answer your call.
Does your son need a job?
I mean, you know, when you get to be his age, I feel like it'll teach him discipline.
Did you send him to me? Like, I understand that I might be the face of charity for wayward sons in this place, but he's only 16, JoJo.
Okay, no. Why would I send you? I'm a cop. He's 16. You own a bar.
Exactly, that's my point anyway.
Did he think that's what I meant? Oh my god. Okay. Oh god, Margie, what am I gonna do with him?
Well, I do have a taco truck, so if he can cook, I might reconsider him, but I'm just telling ya, like, I don't want your kid in my place, okay? You better keep a better eye on that. What, are you at a Taylor Swift concert or something? Why bring your kid with you next time?
He says, I'm on the job, Margie. I can't. Okay, yeah, no, sorry about that. I will make sure he does not go there again. This town is weirder and weirder every day.
And then Margie hangs up on JoJo.
Oh!
And she looks to Shannon and she goes,
You know, I think it might be time for me to hire a bouncer.
She says, yeah, but then that's 2 jobs we need to fill.
I don't have no problem with that, Miss Shannon. Unless you want to run this place all by yourself.
and she kind of puts her hands on Shannon's shoulders and goes,
I know you're young, but it's never too early to start taking care of your body.
What?
says the absolute hypocrite that does everything herself. She's basically like warning Shannon.
Oh, as in like not overwork yourself, you mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
That's what she means.
I thought this was going in a really weird direction and I wasn't sure what to think.
No! Oh my god, no.
Shannon's like, yeah, I mean, it'd be nice, but the interviews are not going well so far, Margie.
It's only been a day. You know what? Let's give it a week. I've only just put the hiring sign a day ago.
It's been a month for us, but I don't remember.
Yeah, it's been a 1 day to like a week. We'll say a little bit of time has passed, but if you, yeah, no, she nods and she's like, yeah, fine. I guess that makes sense, but it's a small town. But yeah, no, we can.
How small is this town? Actuality.
Oh God, don't ask me about numbers. I don't know populations. It's small enough to be a small town without being like a population of like 200 people type thing.
Mm.
Or maybe no. There's multiple like businesses and stuff. I think it's not like the NPCs we know are like the majority of the town. You know what I mean?
Mm. Yeah.
There will be more options. I think it's just slow going so far as the hiring goes. I think at this point, you hear the bell on the door ring, and someone walks in, and Shannon sort of nods to you like, "Oh, thank you, Fancy, for doing that."
Aw.
Bear gets up and stretches.
Shannon sort of nods to you like, "I'll get him," and stands up from the table you were doing the interviews at and goes to serve Edward. She reaches for his favorite drink, and he's like, "Oh, no more alcohol for me, thank you." Hey, Margie.
Ed! Did I just hear you say no more alcohol for you?
Yeah, no, I'm quitting for good.
Good for you! You're lucky that I do have a pretty decent range of, non-alcoholics.
Yeah, you got the juice, Margie.
I do have the juice. Speaking of, will it be strawberry, orange, grape, cranberry, prune?
Oh wow.
What other juices are there?
There's a lot of
Fruit punch,
So many.
jungle juice.
Edward just kind of looks overwhelmed at the options and says, I'm bad at making decisions, Margie. Oh God. Dealer's choice.
You just give me an idea, Edward. Next time, how about I just create a wheel you can spin?
Wow, that sounds pretty handy.
Yeah, Margie. She goes into the back and closes her eyes and spins in a circle and pointing at whatever. And then when she opens her eyes, her fingers land on grape juice. Classic.
Uh-huh.
So she gives them grape juice. Also, I keep thinking about Margie having actual juice boxes, like for kids, but she sells them to adults.
Oh, hell yeah. That's a treat.
She has the ones that look like the barrel.
Which got me thinking about revamping at least the hours of the Lazy Tavern so it could be more kid friendly. I don't know. Something to think about, thanks to Benji.
Yeah, I will say, I think when you emerge from the back with the grape juice, you find Edward and Shannon in mid-conversation, and he's saying, "Therapist is actually really nice. I think it's gonna be good for me, And Shannon's like, "Yeah, cool. Wait, are they in town?" And he's like, "Yeah, they just moved here, set up a practice. It's pretty cool. Viola was just telling me that I should, seek out, help. But yeah, it was like the timing was fantastic. Oh, grape juice. That's exactly what I wanted, I think."
Exactly what. Oh, I'm such a mind reader.
Shoot.
You really are. You'd be a good therapist too.
Really? Yeah, I always figured if I put my mind to it, I could be good at a lot of things. Hey, you'll be voting for me, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not voting for the other guy.
Good.
She was gonna have the grape juice be on the house, but now that Ed's confirmed that he would not be voting for the other guy, regardless, She hasn't paid. Business as usual.
Oh my god.
Wow, Margie.
he thinks about pulling the Viola said you would comp my drinks card for the magic problems, but he doesn't. He makes plenty of money. He can pay. He doesn't want to push his luck here. He's still so anxious. He's just a little guy, you know.
Yeah.
Rob this man, though.
I think it's a good thing he doesn't know that you were planning on giving it to him for free, depending on how he voted, because that would be hurtful to his little guy emotions. All right, anything else, Margie, before we move on to Viola?
Yeah, we can move on.
Okay. Let's see what I have for Viola that we can do during the day.
Uh-oh. I don't like that.
What? Oh, did I say something? Sorry, I must have misspoken. Viola.
Why are you so suspicious today?
It doesn't matter. Viola, I think you are like at the front of the library and you see someone emerging from the wood, like through the windows, through the door or whatever. You see someone emerging from the woods, and they're not like on a path or anything, so it's a little bit out of place.
Oh, good. The last time someone came out of the woods, we had to deal with Robin Hood and his merry men.
Yeah. I think you've probably learned that unusual figures coming out of the forest is not always a good sign. This figure is not clad in Lincoln green, but rather a fine suit that is a little bit covered in like twigs and leaves now. And he looks both ways and starts walking down. He walks across the street to the sidewalk and starts walking away from you. But it is very clearly John Noble, and he seems to be fiddling with something in his hand.
Oh, hell. Is there anyone else in the library right now?
I think probably not. I think it's been a pretty slow day today.
And she's going to grab her keys, lock the door, and follow him.
All right. Yeah, you see that he seems to be heading for the castle. And I will point out that according to your scheduled order, the singing telegram is currently performing. You can very distantly hear the sounds of a clown singing Taylor Swift. So John Noble getting to the castle might not be the best for your pal Tabs, regardless of what John Noble was doing beforehand.
Excuse me, Mr. Noble. Hey, Noble.
Ugh. He stops and slips whatever he was fiddling with into his pocket, and he turns around and gives you a very non-humored smile. And he says, "Viola Thomas, how can I help you today?"
You know, just the usual. Wondered what you were doing out in the woods there. It's not your usual place.
What can I say? I enjoy a nice walk in the woods. Helps clear the mind to get some fresh air, does it not?
Sure. What'd you put in your pocket there, buddy?
Noble just sort of scoffs and says, "I don't see that it's any of your business, Miss Thomas."
I'm sure it's not, but, I'm curious. Librarian always in search of knowledge. I'd love to know what you've got there.
Right. I'm actually going to have you roll a check here to see if you can convince him to open up. I don't think it'll be contested. I think it'll just be an average difficulty of 4.
Okay. What would you like me to roll?
Let's see.
Maybe feeling, because I'm trying to be nice-ish and convince him to open up to me.
Yeah, I could see feeling. I could see maybe focus, since you're kind of playing into the librarian angle. Calm. A lot of these could work, honestly.
Try feeling.
Okie doke. So you have 3 feeling, right?
Yes.
Okay.
5, 1, and 2.
Yeah, I think Noble sort of sighs a bit annoyed, but he slips his hand back into his pocket and pulls out a pen, an ink pen. And he sort of looks at you with a very knowing expression and says, "It's nothing special, just a simple pen. I'm sure you're quite familiar."
Of course, I know what a pen is. And she'll take hers out and just casually click it, not casting anything, but just, you know.
Are you sure you don't want to have a wizard battle? Because that would be pretty kick-ass.
It would, wouldn't it?
Wizard duel.
But he hasn't done anything yet. And it feels wrong to just attack him unprovoked. Mostly.
Mostly it feels wrong. It's hard to say for sure.
Mostly it feels wrong. Mostly unprovoked. I mean, he is existing, which is...
Offensive to the senses, honestly.
Oh.
I think actually he's going to cast something.
Really?
So I'm going to roll that before I describe to see if it works. It'll be an average difficulty because it's just a basic spell. 26. Oh, wow. That was a really good roll. Okay. He got a 4, 4, a 2, and a 6 with his scheme spell. I think he does click his pen as well as he sees you click yours, and ink starts to flow out of the tip of the pen and swirl around him and kind of swirl around his head in the shape of a crown for just a second before it sort of dissipates and the magic seems to just flow into him as he casts this boon spell, Mana, one of his permanent spells. And he just kind of closes his eyes and takes a deep breath in, invigorated. And he says, you know, I understand why you've been doing so much around the town lately, you and your other speakers. It does feel good having magic.
Oh, you're cute. It's not the magic that feels good, it's the doing good that feels good.
Oh, that's frankly adorable. Are you going to put on Paw Patrol with the little children lessons there? Maybe tell me the moral of the story here?
I mean, you do seem to need things spelled out for you, so...
Damn, that's a good line. Okay.
She'll laugh a little bit.
He doesn't quite scowl, but he just sort of shakes his head and says, anyways, if you're quite done, I have my office to get back to.
Yeah, you might want to find a mirror first.
And why is that?
Well, you look like your adventures in the woods might have been of an amorous sort.
Hey, yo, he says. No, he doesn't. He does not say that.
You look a mess, John.
He, I don't want to have you roll. I think I will have you roll this time contested because you are trying to keep him from going straight to the castle, right? Is that your intention here?
Oh, absolutely, yes.
Okay.
Thank God.
I think he will roll with grit as a defense, which is only 2d6. Noble, grit, defense. He got a 3 and a 4, so you need to beat a 4. What are you going to roll with here to convince him?
I think she's going to roll feeling again.
Okay. That makes sense, yeah. Ooh.
Nope.
A 2, a 2, and a 3. Okay. I think he just sort of brushes himself off and like a twig falls out of where it was sticking out of his jacket. And he just says, I will be alone in my office, so I don't really care. I will fix myself up in there. I am quite all right without your advice. But thank you so much for your concern.
Of course.
And he turns and starts walking to the castle.
I think Viola is going to cast a spell.
Ooh.
She's going to cast Decoy
Okay.
and make a duplicate, not of herself, but of the serenading clown,
Oh, I was hoping you would go there. Okay.
and have it appear by the actual serenading clown. And let's see if it works. 354.
Okay. Yeah, that works.
And she's just going to have the decoy switch up the song
Okay.
into Out of the Woods, because it feels like a good one about are we in the clear yet? Are we out of the woods? Maybe a warning to Tabs to hurry up.
Uh-huh. And he's literally just come out of the woods, so it works.
That's her thought, is that maybe Tabs will hear this and pick up the pace, because
Oh god.
Yeah, okay. And is your main goal to get the attention of Tabs, or is it to also still distract John Noble in a more like...
it is absolutely both.
Okay.
The warning Tabs is sort of a secondary thing, because I don't know if Tabs is even going to be in a place where he can still hear the singing. But John Noble's definitely going to hear it and probably be pissed off. So, that's always a bonus.
Yeah. I think then we see this secondary clown, and the first clown looks really confused at first. Sorry. First, what does this look like before I get too far here?
So the first clown is very typical bright clown colors. This second one shows up in like the inverse. Instead of being in bright colors, in like blacks and silvers. Same outfit, but like the inverse.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe just a little bit more charismatic looking.
Okay.
And stands right next to the first one and starts singing the different song. And when the first clown picks up that, oh yeah, we're switching songs, okay, cool, the new one will start harmonizing.
Yeah. No, that's exactly what I was going to say, actually, was that I think the first clown at first looks surprised by the existence of their shadow self. And they say, Jeremy? Is that you? I haven't seen you in years, brother. And the secondary clown keeps singing, and they're like, oh, okay, yeah, if this is... I got your back, man. Are we out of the woods yet? Are we out of the woods yet? And they put on a beautiful duet. A clown duet.
Excellent.
Hold on, there's got to be a pun there somewhere. Clown duet. I got nothing. Okay. I think John Noble looks aghast at this raucous display of silliness and whimsy outside his building that is very serious and adult. And I think we will very briefly zoom in through the window of the building as Tabs enters the office. And I think we see Tabs moving across the office space to the safe where he last saw Jonathan Noble put his ancestors' journal.
Mm-hmm.
And as Tabs is readying to perhaps, cast a spell to get in or figure out what the passcode is, how it works, we see the hairs on the back of his neck stand up as a voice behind him says,
Oh.
Hello again, Tabitha.
and that's where we're going to leave it.
Whoa! Okay. God damn it.